forget to smash that like button. Subscribe. We need some subbies. Come on, you can do it. Late night. Woo, good vibes.
Seen a few. Aubergine and the hot rod today. Beautiful. Hi, Jose. Hi, Jose. Hi, Jose. Last episode was hilarious. I'll take it. Concept is here. Ryru is here. Phyllis is here. Reed is here. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Okay, well, and it's snowing. We're making Danny's chair all sudsy. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. This over here to my right is Nicole Ryan. I don't know why she's laughing. This is the funny part, I guess. And
Yes.
Tonight is Thursday, April 15th, 2021. Here we are. Here we are. I'm wearing a non-Porsche shirt. I'm wearing it for a reason. You might notice some proppage here on the desk. We've got that here for a reason. There's a book on here. There's all sorts of different stuff. The reason is I'm very excited to announce an old friend is here with us tonight. So we've got a great guest. Danny Botkin from the DeLorean Motor Company, and most recently the DeLorean Builder from the new Discovery Channel's Destination Back to the Future. That's right. Danny Botkin is here, so he's going to be in the studio in just a few minutes. Before then, I'm not going to yakety-yak us all to death tonight, but what I am going to do is introduce... It is Thursday, and on Thursdays we do our What Are You Driving Today? This week, it's a really fun one. Jay and Dave take out the 1993 RS America, Carrera RS America, a really fun car. It was available for a very short time from Auto Kennel. I drove it, and I thought, there's some weird quirks about this awesome car, and I thought to myself, I know who should buy it. And I told Auto Kennel, I know who should buy it. And he said, well, you should tell them. So I did, and they bought it. So this isn't even an advertisement. This car is already for sold. It's already for sold for crap's sake. 1993 RS America. Check it out. Jay and Dave had a grand old time. Jay can't tell you about it, but enjoy. What are you driving today? Roll it out. Oh my gosh!
Sticky. Oh yeah.
These seats are nice.
You got manual tilt and slide and electric up and down.
I love it. These seats were my favorite, and no Yeah, nothing in the back, not even seatbelts. I love
this
that.
This is a Ray airbag steering wheel.
Yeah,
so
what's up with that?
Well, he wanted an airbag. The original one is that looks like Mr. Pillow airbag steering wheel. So.
Well, it's better than that, but this is weird.
Yeah, the guy who owned it really wanted an airbag.
I get it.
RS America, no power steering, which is awesome.
Love it. I don't like the steering wheel even a little bit. I feel like I can't feel the road as much as I expect to. But oh, what a car. I love these. What do you think?
This is pretty badass.
This is badass.
So this is a 1993 RS America. Initially, these came with only 4 options. This has 3 of the 4 options. It has air conditioning, sunroof, and radio.
Whoa! And this silly steering wheel thing, right?
That steering wheel looks really funny.
It doesn't feel right.
No,
it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't fit the look of the car. This corners really well. It must be the KW suspension.
So this has K&W?
Yep.
The thing about the 964s is they went to, this was the first 911 where they went to coilovers, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So this does not have the torsion bar set up. And it's such a different drive. Like you almost have to get used to it again because you're a little bit more planted, but it gives you the feeling that you've got the multi-link like in the later cars, but you don't.
Right.
So the rear end moves around differently, or maybe it doesn't move around as much. And I mean, this is an awfully nice car with a very high ticket sale price and stuff. I don't want to go crazy with it, so we're just kind of just 6, 7 tenths.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you have the power steering. The lack of power steering is awesome. God, I just want to do donuts in here. So he said there's cup 2s on the car, rubber-wise. So that may be also why we feel insanely planted.
Yeah.
So I'll heat it up a little bit on the way back. This was sort of just kind of feeling it out.
It does feel grippy. It feels like grippy. It really grips the road.
It's grippy.
There have been some vehicles that haven't gripped the road as much that we've driven. Sheriff. Yeah, it felt really nice and tight in those turns. The back didn't feel like it was giving too much movement. It felt very planted.
If anything, I felt like I wanted it to track out a little bit more under acceleration, and I think that it will. I just don't know the car enough yet to know where that line is, so I will push it a little bit more, but again...
Right, we've only been in the car for 5 minutes.
I don't want to
done really good for 5 minutes.
But I'm thinking, if I had this car and then you find where those lines are, I think this could be like, oh, the most fun Porsche you could have,
Exactly. I think enough seat time, you would really get a hang of how far you can push it.
100%. Oof, I like it.
I like it too.
We're always talking about the seats, but the seats are one of the best things about these. They just hold you completely. They're the Turbo Sport seats, but they're cloth. So you just stay planted. What are you driving today? 94?
93.
1993 Carrera RS America. 964 variety, obviously. This is available from Auto Kennel, although it probably won't be for long. The only thing I wish that they did up until the end, and I think they only did it the first couple of years, is the vent mirrors.
Yeah, I know.
I would love that.
I would love those in my car. You can modify it, but I would never want to modify this car too far.
Oh, I wouldn't do it on a car like this.
No.
I would do it on a car like yours.
On a
James
car-
Gambitt's got it on his, and I love it.
That's right, he does. His was an SC.
All right, we've got this thing plenty up to temperature now. I don't want to wring it out, but let's just feel it out. Tiny little
Those
horn.
horns are weird.
I love the sound, but this is such a bizarre experience.
Yeah, that placement's a bit strange. Is that an aftermarket steering wheel? Or is it for?
Yes.
Okay.
He said that the guy wanted airbag. So the thing is, I hate this steering wheel, and it's taking me away from the driving experience quite a bit because I can't feel. All right, so this car is special because it doesn't have power steering, right?
Right.
But then you put this gigantic weird wheel that doesn't allow me. It isolates the feeling that I'm getting, that I'm not getting. Man, I'm not saying
You're
any of
not
this
getting
right.
the road feedback you need on the steering wheel. Is that what it is?
100%. It's all being lost through this weird.
Puffy steering wheel.
Yeah, I can't describe it.
It's like you're driving a Ford Taurus.
Well,
That's what the steering wheel looks like to me.
this steering wheel would be totally fine if you had regular all-season rubber on this car. But we're riding on Cup 2s, so they're soft as it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't need any more isolation, and yet I have it. I mean, it's there. The car can do it. I just am not as confident because I can't feel it. The car's there. I guess once you just trust it, once you learn to trust it, you can chuck it around. Because you can feel that I did a little.
Yeah.
And that feels nice.
And I felt it on the turn prior to that.
There's a weird floatiness to this suspension that I don't have in a 997 that's 12 years newer.
Yeah.
There's something weird about it.
Is it you're feeling it more on the way down or the way up?
Well, we're cooking a little bit more on the way down. So, because I'm trying to kind of feel it and find it. I guess we'll find out now. You hear that sound?
Is that rub tire? Like rubbing?
Oh,
What was that?
I don't know. I was going to ask you if you knew
I
what it
smell
was.
brakes.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's from us, right?
Yeah, totally from us.
Whew. Just killed a bug, too.
We almost killed a squirrel.
No, I beeped. You couldn't hear it. I was beeping, so he got out of the way. Luckily, he pulled out like a mile ahead of us and
Yeah,
just sat there instead of the last second when he would have gotten squished. I hate that. That ruins my day. Sometimes my week. I'm so Mr. Rogers. Like I say a little prayer about it and everything, in my head. But the rest of the day, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I feel terrible. I feel like I gotta go do something good to make up for it,
All right, so that felt fast on the flyby.
That did feel fast on the flyby.
Was it fast?
Well, it's hard to tell again because this big goddamn beefy wheel in the old setup, I can't see past 60 miles an hour because
That's right.
the gauge isn't turned,
Yeah.
and the wheel is thicker than it should be. So I
can see how that would lock
we were
with you.
cooking, so I wouldn't get my head down to look.
What gear did we make it to? Fifth gear?
I let off when we shifted into fifth,
Okay.
but we needed to shift into fifth.
Because
So
we were
if I had
revving
to-
that
If I
high.
had to guess, I would say we were probably in the neighborhood of 100 there.
Okay.
I wouldn't say more than that. But again, this isn't really the car you're looking for speed. This is about
No.
what the driving experience is. And it's sick and it's awesome, but it's not as raw as I thought it would be, I will say that.
I really had high expectations of this car. I don't have negative.
No, me
feedback.
neither. I still love it, but I feel like, maybe I need to spend more time with it.
I think that's what it is. I think you're driving it a little more carefully than you would some of the other cars just because of the rarity of the car and
I am.
the history of what this car means to a lot of people. Yeah, I think with enough seat time, you could really cook.
Do you see what I either pushing or rotating, and it's harder for me to find the correct balance. Again, because I just can't feel the steering as well. You feel it too? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel that in the turns we're not.
I feel like this car's amazing and it's not set up well.
No, we're not stepping out. I'm not feeling the lean I usually feel from an air-cooled car. But this is on coilovers, so I'm not used to an air-cooled vehicle on coilovers.
Right.
I haven't been in a 964.
Wait, this is your first experience in a 964?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
It's gonna kill my experience on every other 964 unless they're heavily modified.
no, yeah, I mean, no, they're great cars. They're just a little bit more mundane than, we're so lucky we're always driving kind of hopped up, raced out cars.
Right.
It's like apparently like always
All right.
dancing with the car, like it's always moving back and forth. Yeah, exactly.
Here's what we need, more time with this car.
I think it's more seat time. I think the idea of it being a RS America, you're being a little more cautious than you usually would. And that's because out of respect for the car and the ownership of the car. Like, it's not our car. It's not your car.
It's currently owned by someone else and for sale.
Exactly.
With that, I would, like Paul Kennel gets to have an extended test drive. He gets to drive it 100 miles to come up here.
Right.
If I had that kind of experience, I bet that this ride would have been different. This definitely is a car you need to work up to.
Yeah. Because it has so much more to get.
Yeah. It's funny though, it's weird. I wouldn't have the sticky tires on it. I think that's a mistake.
I would want more play. I would want to feel the road a bit more. And looking at the steering wheel, visually for me, I don't like the steering wheel.
Oh, dude, put your hands on it. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
bye,
Vita.
Vita. I love you. I love you too, Sean.
Later. Yeah, like, that just doesn't feel Porsche to me.
No. So it was taking away from my driving experience because I felt like I was driving a Miata.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, so right now I'm feeling the lack of power steering, and you can feel the mechanicalness of it. But this, the tactile, the part that connects the driver to all of that awesomeness, is this weird sponge that doesn't belong.
It's almost lost.
It doesn't belong. Yeah.
How was the gearbox?
So I would say that fantastic. Okay, we didn't get
So
to talk
at least
about that.
the gearbox is
The gearbox is amazing in all of these cars. I don't know if it's different in the RS America or if it's just because this only has 45,000 miles or what. It's great. It feels like it's new.
Okay.
There are only 5 speeds in these compared to 6s in the 996.
Okay.
993s. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Would you have this car? Not at, like, let's say this.
No.
You wouldn't?
You want to know why?
Why?
It's too expensive for me. For this.
why'd you have to say that?
For me, it's about the driving experience, and this does not give me the driving experience that I get from a car that's half this price.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
So if you're buying it to collect it, if you're buying it to, you want to celebrate the RS, all of those things. If you're buying it from the collectability standpoint, yeah, it'll probably continue to go up.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing.
for sure.
But if you want to drive your car like I do,
This is not the
I
one.
would ruin this car in order to get it to drive the way I want it to.
Yeah.
Or I need to drive one that's completely stock without this wheel on it or something. Or just spend more time in this one. But as it is right now, no.
I see exactly what you mean.
Even though I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, man. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah, and that was how we got out of it. I double-checked with David. I said, are you sure that was it there at the end? And he said we continued to sit in the car and talk, but he never gave his thumbs up and down. So we're going to have to wait until that hits the YouTubes, and then we'll talk about it. I don't know why I turned the bubbles on again. Every time we come back, I want bubbles. I don't know why I did that. Did anybody else hear me? Because I realized that I just wasn't talking into the mic. All right, well, anyway, that's what's going on. I hope you enjoyed it. Really fun car. And congratulations to our good friend Gabriella, who ended up buying that car. And Richard, not Robert. Richard, not Robert. He knows what I mean. Keep calling him Robert. His name's Richard. I explained to him I'm doing what my mother used to do and probably still does. And I'm whatever. I associated Richard is my dad's name. I should be able to remember it. I should be able to remember it. Robert, of course, was one of my mother's other gentle fellows' names.
Oh.
All right. Now that we've all got that out of the way, let's do some commercials real quick and get our buddy in here because I am excited to talk DeLorean with my pal Danny. Need a lift lately? Cruise into a healthy 2021 with Cruise into Wellness CBD. The cruise is with a Z. CruiseIntoWellness.com. If you use promo code LATE NIGHT, I think it's one word and I think it's all capitals, although I think it also doesn't matter. Promo code LATE NIGHT to get 20% off your order at CruiseIntoWellness.com. CruiseIntoWellness.com.
CruiseIntoWellness.com.
Shout out to Rob over there. Also, Rob, the FX gummies, while almost gone, are fantastic. You were right about that company. They're great. And if I recall, they're the ones who are local here, maybe even in North Hollywood.
Oh.
Yeah. Mixed reviews on these from the same people, which is a CBD vape pen.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. They're very chemically to me.
Okay. So maybe not that one. She's the best. I love that you were the PR person. That's the best part to me. I
was an honest PR person before I met you when I lied all the time.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You were an honest PR person before I met you when you lied all the time? Is that what you just said?
I happened to switch companies right before I met you, and that was...
Oh.
That put me on a path of lying to be successful.
Oh, I
versus
see.
I was honest and real before.
That sounds like racing. Sounds like racing. Like the new team came in and you had to cheat to compete, you know? Like Lance Armstrong. You're like Lance Armstrong.
We're all jerks.
Live strong, love strong. I'm with you. Okay, well, let's say a few words about St. Clair Insurance. I'm going to be serious here. Ross from Friends.
Ross.
She's watching Friends right now. Pivot.
I'm pivoting.
They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance has coverage for your toys. What kind of toys are we talking about, Mrs. Ryan?
All kinds. Cards, I think.
all kinds, and cards, she thinks. You'd be right about that, Mrs. Ryan, especially if you've got the Haggerty Insurance. We should talk to Danny about that when he gets in here. As I recall, we used to have the agreed value policies. Ours was a Haggerty. I don't know. Did you ever use the Haggerty Insurance? You do. See, there you go. Boom. Boom. Haggerty customer right there for the time machines. The reason I'm talking about Haggerty today is St. Clair Insurance sells Haggerty Insurance. Specifically, even if you're... why did I say specifically? There's several reasons. Specifically, I'll get them all to you. One, Haggerty's awesome, and it's a lot different than it used to be. There used to be a lot of things that might keep you away from Haggerty, whether it was a certain years or certain values. None of that really applies anymore. If you have anything, you can get it insured. Specifically, though, we're talking about collector cars. Those are what kind of toys, Mrs. Ryan? Collector cars today. If you've got a DeLorean that's a little bit bigger than this and you want to get it insured, check out St. Clair Insurance. They sell Haggerty, but you're going to get that personalized coverage from St. Clair. CoverageForYourToys.com. CoverageForYourToys.com.
CoverageForYourToys.com.
You are fantastic. It is my great pleasure to tell you that this is Jay Ryan from Late Night Playset, reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment below. This feeds the internet algorithm and eventually us as well. Be a pal and like, subscribe, and comment below. It'll be fire. I can't press that now. I got to wait till Danny's in here because it'll. Well, all right. It'll be. Oh no! Look at that. But that life just works itself out, doesn't it? All right. So that button didn't work, but I bet it will when we need it later. Everything okay? Everybody seems hyped up. Just me.
I feel okay.
It's just me. It's just me. I'm pointing to you, but it's just me. All right. Instagram, how are you this evening? I've been waving at everybody. Chris has a camera. 911 Anchorman. 911 Anchorman, I think I saw your car up at TLG yesterday, where we were getting an oil change and also some semi-solid motor mounts installed. The Wevos, got the Wevos on there. Pretty good. So hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. All right, who's ready to talk DeLorean with my buddy Danny? I'm waiting for everyone to be like, I do. Oh, they're waving. That's good. That's good. All right. It is my great pleasure to welcome a very good friend of mine, a very old friend of mine. He is, I don't know what your title is, but he works at DeLorean Motor Company. Specifically, he built the DeLorean for this new Discovery Channel show entitled Expedition Back to the Future. Our buddy Danny Botkin is here. I've even got music for you.
Just a fool in love with you. Earth angel, the one I adore. Love you forever and evermore. I'm just a fool in love with you. I fell for you.
Sorry about that. I know, man, we just had that going forever. Do you want the bubbles? Oh, buddy. Let's see. I'll get the echo down. We don't need Earth Angel anymore. And I will settle down here. We'll make sure your camera's good. We can see you. Excellent. And we'll get the DeLorean out here just in case we need any reference or visual aids. And there we go.
Well, that was the best toy, actually, Sunstar did. It was so nice.
This was the first one.
Yeah, Sunstar came out with all of them, even the 2-part-3 ones with the train tracks and everything.
Yeah, you remember all that too. I got the Sharpies out and kind of fixed some of the coloring on the back way back in the day. You remember the things weren't red and these were black and whatever.
Little details.
Made some corrections.
Well, I had to do because you built a big one.
Well, I want to talk about you. Well, let's talk about Back to the Future DeLoreans. You're the guy. How many have you built?
Roughly about 18, I would guess, full cars. The thing is, I've been building parts for a bunch of people lately too.
Okay.
And I've had guys where I've come in and just do the engine cover right now, and later on they come back and finish the rest. So I'm kind of losing track of how many complete cars.
How many are there these days out there?
God.
Well, hang on. Let's back up because when we were doing this together, we were both in this hobby together, and I think we estimated at the time there was like worldwide maybe a dozen.
I would think
a dozen, less than 20.
Right.
Of there's like 20 in LA. I see them driving around all the time.
Yeah, I've created too much of my competition for rentals, so kind of stopped doing it for a while. But I'm getting a bug to get another DeLorean right now. So this is like the longest time I've gone without a personal DeLorean.
You don't have one right now?
No.
Ah, okay.
So sold it, bought a boat.
Oh.
Realized I shouldn't have bought the boat because it cost too darn much money to buy a boat.
Was that the last time I saw you?
Yeah, because you helped me drive the boat down here from.
You bought the moat up in L.A. and we needed to get it down to Orange County.
You came down and I bought a boat I couldn't drive. Smart, huh?
we were catching up on the phone. You tell me this whole story, and I said, "Buddy, you may have called the right friend. I actually know how to do that."
I know, it was great. You did great.
But so then you didn't end up to be boat people.
No, just because honestly, I love doing it. I restored the whole boat. I gutted it. I would have loved to shown it to you, but
Oh, I followed the pictures of the build on Facebook and stuff.
But I learned a lot about working on boats. A little different than cars. Yeah, you go down and work on a boat, especially when it's in the harbor. You better bring everything with you, or you just don't get it done. And one guy told me one time, as soon as you finish restoring your boat, you're going to have to start over.
It's like the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
It's going to rot. And he was right, And after the last little mishap of shift cables breaking, I was out for a nice drive and didn't realize I had to pull the boat out of the water, redo the outdrives. Realized one of the outdrives was full of salt water and had to put another one on. And I said, no, I think it's time. Time to go out. Good experience.
All right.
Back to cars.
Well, fair enough. All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got. If you're not using it, I'm glad you got rid of it.
Yeah.
Good
experience.
Yeah. You always were into something though. You had the camper way back when. You always kind of have something. You're always active.
I always got to have a project of some sort. I got rid of the car, and so me and my wife, we just went through and gutted our house. We did everything and hardwood floors, and we did all of our own windows.
Was that pre-COVID, or you were already doing that?
Yeah, that was pre-COVID.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were just going through the whole house, and doing everything together, and me and my daughter scraping floors, old tiles, and it was a great experience to do.
That's awesome. I'm trying to think. It has been since the boat, which means you've. I'm trying to think of how much stuff of both of our lives has passed. We, for everybody else, like we used to hang out a lot. We really, really did.
Yeah.
When I had a car, there was always an event, and you were always part of those events.
Right.
And I just feel like we were together all the time.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like, and Comic-Con, there was always a Comic-Con thing
Right.
that you were there for, Back to the Future wise, and then we were always there working for something. And the weekend, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and life happens, things change, and
But when I'm afraid for the answer. When was that boat thing?
3 years ago.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought.
That's
About
all.
3
I
years
thought it
ago
was
is when
more.
you guys, brought it down with me and
Okay.
and parked it, and
All right, that's not so
So,
bad.
not
I
too
was thinking
bad.
it'd been like 7 years since I'd seen you.
No,
Okay.
no.
That's better.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking me off the ledge. All right, well, you've got a tremendous amount of stuff going on. How are things at DeLorean Motor Company?
Busy, extremely
Good.
busy. Actually, all of our shops are really busy right now. I got 36 cars in the shop right now.
Come on.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Doing another Back to the Future car right now, and doing a bunch of parts for a few other people right now, and it's good. It keeps me busy. And
You're doing a Back to the Future car right now that's not the one that we're going to talk about for the show?
no, it's a private customer.
Awesome.
So,
Are they in L.A.?
yes, he is another one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I got out just in time.
But I mean, there's if I were to guess, there's definitely 150 Back to the Future cars
Come
probably.
on.
It's just a guess, but I mean,
Whoa.
you got a few
That's
other builders
10
back
times
east
what
that
it
are
was
building.
when we used to do it.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah, because I think I was about the third or fourth person to ever build one.
I remember back in the day when I was researching this in 1999, it was Bob Brandeis and Doug Vader had done, kind of a prop car that Mark Shields owns now.
Right.
It was before I even knew about Terry and Oliver. I feel like they might have done theirs either later or I just didn't
Think
know about
afterwards.
them
Yeah,
yet.
I didn't. I first saw them at the Memphis, Tennessee show, and I thought, oh my God, great, how cool.
After Terry and Oliver, it was you.
That was
That's
I
it.
came right back and started doing it, and then that's when about 2001 when they brought the A car originally to me, because Universal
From Universal.
Yeah, because Universal wanted to do a Part 4 at the time, so I got all out running, took a bunch of pictures, and I'm converting my car to a Back to the Future car.
Yeah,
So
because
I'm
you
doing
have the
it.
reference.
Yeah, I just took
I'm
tons of
working at
pictures,
DeLorean.
looking at it. I said, after looking at it, and I played around with a lot of it. They just wanted to get it running, but I want to get this prop running. I want to do this. Absolutely. So got a lot. Okay. But had a ball with it. Really did. And
I remember those pictures, and that was reference for all of us. Because
Yeah.
you put them online and stuff.
yeah,
I don't actually. How did
there
you
wasn't
do
much
that?
online back then.
How
when I
did you
first
do
did
that?
it.
Because I remember seeing all. Maybe you just shared them with me.
I think I might have shared it. Yeah.
I remember all of those pictures.
Yeah.
Because there was stuff we copied that was wrong that I ended up undoing.
Yeah.
Because it was like, that was stuff that the theme park or whatever had done over the years.
Yeah, because
And
they've
we
really
didn't-
kind of messed things up. They had the twisted wire along the side,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it wasn't twisted.
That a lot of people
You
thought,
know?
it's supposed to be that way.
Right. And this is why we have so many cars right now. There is so much information out there that everyone is sharing. The builders groups now, and
Was everyone
everything's out
sharing
there.
that stuff finally? It was
It's
very
all
very
been shared.
territorial back in the old days. It was
Yeah.
very angry internet. It's
Yeah.
very, the old days of the angry internet.
Yeah. And back when we did
Before everything was transparent.
That's what
yeah,
I
you had to
remember.
know somebody. You had to know friends, and you had to know, you had to have the part in your hand and know what it is.
Are all the same players still active? Is it all still the same as when I left it?
Pretty much. And then there's quite a bit more. I mean,
Well, I
there's-
would imagine so now, yeah.
but yeah, I'd say it's about the same groups doing it.
Just more of it.
Just more of it. Yeah.
That's so cool. Every time I see one on the street, they're more and more accurate than they ever were. So that must be a testament to what you're talking about.
Yeah, everybody wants to be perfectly accurate, and I get customers coming in. I want you to build me a car. I want perfectly accurate. It's like, which scene?
Right. That doesn't exist.
all the
There's
different
no
cars.
such
No.
Which movie? Which scene?
Yeah,
Which shot? Really?
I did one car one time where it's just those rear boxes underneath the bumper.
Mm-hmm.
I did the wiring harness exactly how one of the pictures of the movie was.
Oh, where the exhaust pipes
they go
are down
up
at the bottom.
there,
Yeah, yeah.
and I got a call back from the customer going, "No, they're not right. They're not right." Well, show me what you're looking at, because I'm looking at a screenshot. And he said, no, he brings me another screenshot. I said, okay, I'm on a mission now, and I found 5 different ones, and I went, pick one,
Right, and I'll match it.
Right.
It's that simple.
So, I build the cars so they can drive too. I don't cut the exhaust pipes. I
Right.
don't like to do that. You know, and when we took off the A car's taillights, they were all melted because all the radiant heat coming up. So there's certain things you do for movies, and there's certain things you do for a car you drive.
Yeah, 100%. I remember we tried all sorts of things back in the day. We were cutting them, but then we were putting like the same VW, whatever those flex hose things are. We were trying to do we were trying all sorts of stuff to have them, you know, the hybrid of both, the look of them cut, but not melt your hole.
Not melt it, right?
Because all the heat's right there. You need to get whatever you can out. It's all just trapped underneath this ridiculous back here.
And you're going against basically a plastic bumper with, plastic taillights and everything else in there. You know, it's.
And these are known to get all warpy anyway.
They do.
Oh gosh, it's so funny. I mean, yeah, he built the time machine out of a car for some style, but I can't think of a more difficult car to build a time machine out of. I mean, stainless steel is impossible to work with.
All right.
All of this other stuff, it's heavy, it's quirky. The DeLoreans weren't the best cars to begin with. You know what I mean? Back in those times.
They had their quirks, but, it was a first-year car. And they, given a few more years, honestly, the DeLorean would have been bitching.
I agree with that.
It would have been what it would.
I agree with that.
It would have been faster engines with John DeLorean. It would have been so many different things.
Well, it became a bunch of other cars that even GM made. Even GM made that GT Fiero that was kind of like where he wanted this to go eventually.
Right. And back then, and GM says, no, we don't want another two-seater sports car because he went to them.
They didn't want him. Oh, right.
And he said, no, we have a two-seater sports car. We have the Corvette. We don't need this. We don't need to make our own competition. It's like, well, he went on. That's the big reason why he left.
Yeah. Because he said, I'm going to do this. I've got this idea. Yeah. Grand Delusion, as the book is called, but Grand Illusions. He was a fascinating dude. And let's bring him up real quick. Have you ever met him? I know the answer.
I did. Yeah, I did. He came into our shop. He was coming here. His daughter, Catherine, was graduating from her technical college at the time. And we'd known her since some shows, and we were doing some work on a Trans Am of hers. Replacing rear end of a beautiful Trans Am that her dad got her. And she said, well, my dad comes in town, I'll bring him by the shop. I'm like, great, because I've missed him at the last couple of car shows he said he was going to do, and he had to cancel, unfortunately. I'm going, God, am I ever going to meet this guy, And not only got to meet him, he got there early, and I'm always there early, I live at the shop. But, I got to spend a good half hour, 45 minutes walking around, just me and him.
Just the two of you.
Talking about stuff. At the time I was building my Back to the Future car, so he got a kick out of that. Oh, man. So I got a picture of me and him in front of my Back to the Future car, first one.
As I recall, he was a big fan of the Back to the Future DeLorean.
He was.
He liked what they had done.
Yeah. He actually wrote Bob Gale a letter.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, he really liked it. And, what would have happened with the company if just, per se, Back to the Future came out a year before?
Man.
Would it save the company? I get that question a lot. It's like...
It's an easy one to pose, right? Because it's like, yeah. I mean, the easy answer is yeah.
Right.
Sure, it would have been fine. Because everybody would have wanted one.
Right.
I mean, they would have had to figure out how to make them a little better, a little quicker, probably.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have been sitting on the shores unsold like they were.
Well, they were sitting unsold, too, for another reason. Everything back east at the time was snowed in. They couldn't get the cars back east. That was another reason why.
That's right. Were they sitting in Jersey? Is that what it was?
A lot of them were sitting in Jersey. They were sitting at two quality assurance centers. One was back east and the quality assurance here in California. Of course, California, we can get the cars out, and they were doing pretty good.
Really? They were. Well, we had Johnny Carson out here helping sell them, too, on The Tonight Show and everything, because he was, I think, the biggest private investor in the DeLorean company.
I don't know if I knew his involvement. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, he was an investor and good friends with John, I guess. He actually owned two different cars.
At least in the beginning.
Well, in the beginning, yeah.
One of my you mentioned Kat before. I'm sorry to cut you off. She's one of my best friends, as you know, and she's been on the show a bunch, so our audience knows her via audio.
Uh-huh.
My favorite baby picture of anyone ever is John DeLorean in his driveway or somebody's driveway. I don't know, but holding Kat DeLorean. It's just so cool with the car in the background.
Right.
It's
so
really
cool.
A cute picture.
And Johnny's just in like his tennis shorts and a t-shirt. It's cute. I'm sure you've seen it.
I don't know if I've seen that one though.
I'll share it with you. It's great.
Definitely.
It's great.
That's cool. Yeah, she's been great doing the car shows with us and everything. She's a sweet girl.
She's amazing. Yeah. She's an East Coaster now. I love it.
Oh. Last I heard she was in Texas. So I don't know.
Up and moved.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But you and John, so you had that time together, and any stories from that time when you were alone?
No, just walking around kind of showing them what was going on. And somehow we got on the subject of why the plant closed. And at the time he was saying, I was one of 3 major companies that were closed. Margaret Thatcher wanted it closed because, back then it was the IRA Catholic Protestant battle against, and IRA was against the government, and she wanted all the money that they were making at the plant was going towards IRA, and she wanted to kind of starve them out of money. Even though in the plant, I've heard stories after stories. They got along great working in the plant. 2 factions of people fighting out on the streets and then go to work. You had a job.
Yeah.
You were making money, and you were making good money at the time. So
I've always heard from everybody that the people working in the factory were thrilled, not only with the business, but the fact that they were making this car. They really wanted it to work.
They did. Every person I've talked to quite a few people that worked in the plant over the years at all the shows, which I'm sure you've seen talks and everything that they do. They loved it.
Yeah.
They really, really wanted to see this car company going.
It sounded like a family. Like this was supposed to save this part of Ireland.
Right.
It was very poor at the time. They were pumping money into it with this idea, and it was really supposed to be something. It was this dream. It was this one guy's dream, but it applied to all these people. So it was the perfect place to do it. And the fact that it didn't work out was such a bummer.
It was,
because they all really put it all. I mean, they put their heart and soul into it.
They really did. They really did.
The momentum of that part of the story is pretty powerful.
Yeah, and often not told. Often totally
Often.
lost. Yeah. You just hear about the the FBI in the hotel room and all that shit.
Yeah, that was way after all the other things, but it was
Also almost a different story.
It is. But I heard from one guy, I had a guy come in the shop one time. He did John went to the Ireland government and asked for another $50 million. And says, look, I got to keep this company going. I need some more money. Every intention they told him was, no, you're not going to get it. But the gentleman I talked to, and I don't remember his name, it was so many years ago, he just came walking in the shop one time and he says, yeah, I was the guy that they flew out here and did a survey on the company and to see if it was a viable company to actually put the money into.
So they looked into it.
They did look into it. And he says, a lot of money was being spent. Like he said, for an example, the New York office was sucking $1 million a month.
It was pointless.
That
was a sad pointless. The Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue office.
So there was a lot of money spent.
To be it was a very Donald Trumpy kind of a thing. It was to be the face of have a beautiful.
It's a big expenditure for that, though.
Did you ever see This Is 40? And it's like the big neon sign on it. You spent $20,000 on a neon sign. No one can see. It's inside.
Saw that. But and he says, I wrote my report and I was flying back. And before I landed, John DeLorean was getting arrested and the deal was done. And I went, wow.
What?
That was just like, he was going to go back there and tell him it was a viable company.
So by this guy, if this guy is the real deal, which there's no reason to believe he isn't,
right.
The story almost did go another way.
Almost did. But a lot of things in business do that. Just one little thing will
That's
mess
life.
it up. Yeah.
That's life.
But
that's amazing. I never heard that.
Fascinating.
I heard that he went back. He went back to ask for more money. I think probably a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. I had never heard $50 million because $50 million, if he had gotten that, it would have done it.
It would have done
that was a large enough amount that it would have done it.
Yeah.
I had heard it was like, and they were like 10 million, and then they said 3, and he needed 7. Like there was all these things, and it was like that'll just get you by. It's not going to fix your problem.
Right. He had a lot of things working against him, but
if that happened, it would have been a game changer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you said, the movie, a lot of things. DeLorean Motor Company is the closest thing to the original company. Mm-hmm. Are they still making cars? Last I heard, you guys, or at least the Texas location, is still making full cars.
Right now we're not.
Okay.
We were going to be doing some new type of build cars when Obama signed the Transportation Act in. We were going to start making some new cars that we can actually build like 300 cars a year.
Yeah.
With new VIN numbers and different rules. If you're building a new car, you usually got to crash test them and do all the other stuff. This was supposed to be like a whole other program. So little guys like us, and I know that Mustangs and Ford Broncos and all these other companies wanted to get on board on this and start building tribute cars.
Right.
And doing that. But unfortunately, no one ever signed it into law throughout the whole time.
Oh, it never happened?
Never happened. So,
man.
And just recently, just before Trump left office, he signed it. So we're all like, everybody's mouths are open right now going, okay, well, now what do we do? Well, all these vendors and everything that, that the company worked hard to try to maybe start doing another car, they're years ago now. So it's kind of to see what we're going to do.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So, but it might be back on.
It still might be back on.
Oh, cool.
We'll have to see what it is. What's the market going to do?
We'll have to see what the future holds.
Exactly.
Let's see. I want to press this button because you're here. There we go. It's cold. Hair cold. There we go. I'll do that first, and I want to bring out a couple things here, just because I don't know if you. I think. Yeah, no, you know, because I don't have anything Back to the Future left. I went through and combed through everything I own today to find all of the Back to the Future stuff I have left.
Right.
There's this car,
Okay.
which I bought, and then there's this book, which our friend Tom Silknutter wrote
Yep, I
and
just started reading
sent
that.
me a copy of. He sent 2 copies. We got one to Matt Farah because he's a big Back to the Future fan. And then I found some other stuff today, which I hadn't seen in a while. So I wanted to show it. Specifically, because you had a lot to do with it. I wanted to talk about briefly, at least, the time machine restoration.
Oh yeah.
And how that all went. The original time machine is sitting over in the Peterson right now.
Nice and preserved indoors.
Right? Considering the old days. Oh my gosh. What's happening here? There we go. I had forgotten all about this, and I don't know if I'm sure you got something like this, if not something nicer. But this was from Bob Gale afterwards. 2J, the DeLorean restoration wouldn't have happened without you. 1.21 gigawatts of thanks, Bob Gale. He also had Robert Zemeckis and Christopher Lloyd sign it.
Oh, that's
I thought
great.
that was super nice.
Oh,
And so nice that I have left it in the tube all this time.
right.
What am I gonna
That deserves to be framed. Come on.
and then a personal thing from Bob Gale saying, Jay, thank you. I'm grateful for all that you did to make this project a reality. Best Bob Gale.
Oh, that's
And
great.
it meant the world to me. I forgot all about
Yeah.
it. It meant a lot to me when I originally received
Right.
it. But seeing it over today, it was like, I don't know, it was the same kind of warm hug.
Right.
And we've talked about talked to Bob about having him here, and I hope that happens.
That'll be great.
There's that, but then more specifically, less about show and tell and more about gifty stuff. You probably remember this, right?
Yes, McDonald's toys.
Well, this was given to me by our mutual friend, Kat DeLorean, when I was driving across country one time. And I'm giving it to you specifically, not just because it's such a cool collectible, but because it's actually signed by John DeLorean.
Oh, wow. That is. Thank you so much. Wow.
Beyond that, she also
is so
gave me
cool.
this. I don't know if you remember the Dare to Dream documentary, or if you have a VHS player. But
I think I actually have it on DVHS.
this also was
Oh my
signed by
God.
John, and he literally it's never been watched. He just tore the
Tore it up.
thing to sign it.
That
So
is
those were gifts to me
phenomenal.
from Catherine forever ago, and it's a different life, and I would
Wow.
like you to have them.
Oh,
I
thank
gave
you
you all
so
of our
much.
time machine stuff forever ago.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
remember
remember that. Yeah. Wow, thank you so much. This
so
will
there
go-
you go, a couple
this will
John
go in
DeLorean
my-
autographs.
My office, which is almost turning into a museum now, it's just so full of stuff. And
When
that
Ann
I've been
Anstead
collecting.
was visiting you, he started sending Mike Brewer pictures of your office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So funny. We love those guys.
Yeah, oh,
Danny
it's
was on
great.
Wheeler Dealers way, way, way back when it was first starting. Certainly when that's how I learned about the show was
Right.
through you.
right. Yeah, they came in and they wanted to do it's just a stock DeLorean, but we
But that was easily 10 years ago, maybe more.
easily, yeah. Yeah, I would say it's about 10
I
years.
didn't know you were on it.
Yeah. So if you ever see the DeLorean episode of Wheeler Dealers, it's this guy. Mike Brewer goes into the. It was the old shop. It was
Yeah,
a long, long
yeah,
time
the Garden
ago.
Grove shop.
But you guys are going through the parts department and you're picking stuff out that they need for their DeLorean build. And I think
love
it would have been Ed China back then, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah. But I never met Ed. I just at Mike. You know, he came in and did his thing, and he's just as happy-go-lucky as he is on television. He really is.
He's
such-
been here too. He's
he's
another
such a
good
great
friend.
guy. Yeah.
Mr. Enthusiasm, Mr. Energy. He really
is.
has. When you see the show, you think, oh, he's putting that. You know, when the cameras aren't rolling, that's just an act.
Right.
No, that's Mike
Yeah.
Brewer. That's how he is.
That's how. Yeah, he didn't. I always had my Back to the Future car there at the time, and then he didn't expect it because we were talking about other things, stock cars and everything else. He came in and saw it. He just lit up like, "Oh my god, this is great!"
Did they show that on the show? I can't remember.
I don't remember if they showed it on the show. It's been so long since I've seen it now.
Yeah, I have them all on the media server. I'm going to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, I have it on DVD, but
What I really want to watch these days is Destination. Back to the Future on Discovery.
Expedition.
Expedition. Damn it.
Sorry.
I knew
Yes.
it wasn't right.
Yeah,
I was
sorry
looking
about
at
that.
your eyes, and you were like,
Yeah, I blinked. Yeah, Expedition Back to the Future was Josh Gates, and that turned out so great. Turned out so different than what we thought because they came in just before COVID, and we had all these plans. This is what we're going to do. We're going to film more of building it and get more of a hands-on thing, and that's I said, we need to get Kevin Pike in here. I want to build with Kevin Pike.
All
so
right.
both of us can do it together, and hands-on and do it. And
For anybody who doesn't know, Kevin Pike built the original Time Machine for the movie.
yep, him and his team.
Yeah, Film Tricks.
Film Tricks. Yep, they built the original one. And I just really wanted him part of it for that, to be able to do that. Luckily, he was still, even though we've changed the whole concept of it, he was still there with the design work and all that kind of stuff. And, he was a part of it, which was great.
Awesome. I mean, you see him in the pictures, which, of course, I posted and I didn't load in here. That's all right. Go to the Instagram, everybody. Take a look. I saw, it's the host, you said Josh Gates?
Josh Gates, yeah.
You, Kevin Pike, and then there's another gentleman sitting at the table with you.
What is his name again?
I can't remember.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Danny!
It was great. I've worked with him a couple other things before, other
Yeah.
gigs with the car, but this was just working so close to him. And honestly, it was like surreal. I don't get fanboyish that much. I don't get
You
starstruck.
never do. I've seen you work
I've-
with a lot of celebrities. I've never seen you.
I don't do it. I'm not the guy that runs up, give me your autograph. I just don't do it. And sometimes I regret it too. I'm going, I could have had him sign that. I could have done that. But I'm not that. But in any case, I felt more fan struck with that. They brought the whole crew in. We had, star trailers outside.
Oh,
and
sure,
everything.
yeah.
And out there in the star trailer with Christopher Lloyd and Josh Gates going over what we're going to do on a scene, talking about the lines, and I had to look around going, this is real. This is so cool.
Yeah. You manifested it.
Oh, loved it.
You did it.
Loved
You worked hard enough in this certain little area where you made that happen.
It's
I
just-
believe that for all of the opportunities we had, all of the same moments that you were just describing, they felt amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like it was bound to happen. You dedicated all that time and energy as a kid and then as an adult. How could it not happen?
I feel very fortunate. I'm doing something I absolutely love. I love working on the cars. Now, almost 20 years, a little over 20 years now, I've been working on DeLoreans. I started in 2000.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Happy anniversary.
yeah, I know. But and I still love it. I still love going into work. I still love working on them, the customers, everything.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, tell me about this show though. I don't know much about it. I haven't gotten to see it yet. Is it on? Is
It's
it
on Discovery Plus right now.
Okay, so you got to get the
You gotta
subscription.
get a subscription. But if you're going just for that or whatever, you can just go on to and get this 7-day trial for free or whatever and watch it for frve I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but
no. I know some people who did that with Top Gear on Amazon. So yes, that works.
But honestly, I have gone cableless now. I don't have satellite on cable. I am strictly on.
We
the
don't
apps
either,
now.
so you'll have to get it on.
And
you get
Discovery
Apple
Plus
TV,
has
right?
so many things that I like. No, I get it.
Or Roku or one of those.
One of those, yeah. It's in the TV or whatever. So I'm just learning all that kind of stuff still. But Discovery Plus really has a lot of really cool shows I love. I love the Survivor type shows and house building shows and all that, and they're all in there.
Is The Deadliest Catch on there? Because that's the one we used to like on the Discovery.
I'd have to look
Love
again.
that
I
Deadliest
used to watch
Catch.
them a lot. And I haven't looked for it yet, but if it's anything, it's going to
It's got to
there.
be on one. If
Yeah.
it's got to be somewhere, and if it's going to be anywhere, it would be on the
It
Discovery.
would be
app,
there,
I think,
yeah.
All of their TV shows went to the Motor Trend app, like
Right.
Chasing Classic Cars and the Graveyard Cars. Did you still watch those? We
I
used
watch
to
them
watch them in the old
occasionally.
days.
Yeah. I used to watch them a lot, but not as much anymore.
Who's got time anymore, right?
I know. There's a lot of good car shows out there I liked watching, but
What's your favorite one?
oh, good question.
I put you
I
on the
really
spot.
do like Wheelers and Dealers still. I still like watching as many of those as I can.
I was ready to hate Ant. Not hate Ant, but you know what I mean. I was ready to. I loved Ed China. I loved that show, and I was ready to screw this new guy. And
you can't.
and he came here on the show, and he was amazing. And then he was great on the show, and he's great with everything he does. A wonderful personality.
Yeah, he's been in the shop. We showed him around our shop recently, and great,
At
nice
DeLorean.
guy. Yeah,
Very cool. Well, he lives down there too.
Yeah.
He's a neighbor.
Yeah.
Are you still living in the same place?
I'm still
Is that
in
the
the same
place
place.
you redid?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
we actually
the
did.
place was plenty big.
It was plenty big, fine, but we actually did sell it because we were going to buy another place on the beach.
That's what I remember. I
Yeah,
thought
I
you did
think
sell
I told you I was going to sell it, and we did sell it. And then the house in Huntington Beach, the guy, it was, I don't know, some kind of paperwork problem with him. He had to back out and didn't do it. And luckily, I wrote down in mine. It was, if I get the other house, then we'll sell the house. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but so we ended up staying and said, we'll just fix this.
Thanks a lot. Well, I mean, it was always plenty of room, and I'm thinking, did you say before the show that you're empty nesting now?
Yes.
So it's tons of room.
Yeah. Yeah. But now it kind of worked out. now where with COVID, where my wife is working at home now.
Home office.
Yeah.
But
So-
how is it with the kids out?
It's
That's the empty nest part.
It's we miss them. But our daughter comes in and visits us all the time. She's close by in Anaheim, so.
That's
she's
easy,
close.
just not
Yeah.
living with
Yeah.
you.
So.
That's a
But
little bit
yeah,
easier
no.
on mom, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're just a little
yeah.
dinner away. It's not that far. It's not a
Right.
deal.
So that's nice. It's a. We're getting along with it just good.
I'm
Just
so happy. All right, we should talk about the time machine specific. Let's see. I wrote all sorts of stuff down here, but I don't know what the hell I should get to. Expedition Back to the Future. We talked about Discovery Plus right now, but you should definitely check it out. How many episodes is it?
It's 4 episodes.
Okay, an hour each, 40 minutes or
yeah,
something like
about
that.
40 minutes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It's real stuff in fiction. It's a story, so it's not like a documentary.
Right.
But
The fact that Bob Gale's involved lets me know that it's fine. You can totally bet on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be quality.
oh yeah, there's a lot. Bob Gale, Strickland was in it.
Oh
too.
no, of course. I don't
you
mean
know,
anything about that other than
No,
if
they-
you're
they
going to
brought a
get
lot.
Mr. Gale, if you're going to get the Godfather involved in the franchise, he's going to make sure it's
Yeah.
effing good. He won't put his name on it otherwise.
It's a good stamp of approval to have.
Yeah.
You don't have a car right now. What's your favorite part about owning when you have one? When you have your DeLorean Time Machine, what's your favorite part about owning that car?
Doing the shows and watching the kids just go nuts about it and just smile.
Yeah.
Just bringing smiles to everybody. But you can honestly drive a stock DeLorean, everybody smiles and waves at you and gives you a thumbs up just with a stock one. But Back to the Future one, it's just people go nuts.
Everyone thinks, I just remember when I had the stock one, exactly what you're talking about, and you think, oh, well, it's not going to get crazier than this.
It does.
It just doesn't get crazier than this. And then imagine, I don't know, turning whatever you thought was it into a clown with a neon sign and Kobe Bryant on the roof.
Oh yeah, I remember that shoot you did there with that. Yeah.
Do you remember the story though? Kobe was in the car with me, and everyone's doing exactly what you just described, and Kobe's in the car, almost getting uncomfortable, like it's a press appearance, and he turns to me because we can't even carry on a conversation, and he's like, "Sorry, I get this all the time." And I just, sorry, I thought, this is like a pause for a moment while I waited, and I was like, "I'm sure you do get this all the time, but I don't think they can actually see you. I get this all the time too."
Right.
And we were on Main Street in Santa Monica, where it was just packed with people and shoppers and people eating on the patios and everything, and they couldn't see him. And once he realized that I was right about that, he totally chilled out. And it was almost like being in a limousine with dark tint.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's exactly what you're talking about. Like, you may as well be in a parade float.
Yeah.
Throwing out beads to people.
Yeah. Because it's just, I don't know if it's you when you had yours, but I had people actually follow me home, pull in the garage, like, can we take pictures of your house? Like,
TMZ followed me when we did the Scream Awards, again with Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. TMZ followed me from the Greek to wherever we went, wherever the after party was.
Right.
And followed the whole way, with the goddamn guy out the window and the whole thing. Like the tunnel in Paris. I mean, it was weird,
I remember that.
Do you ever have anybody what happens when they follow you all the way home? Like, do they then talk to you when you park it in the garage? Like, oh, I couldn't help but notice.
Yeah, no, they'll get out of their car and they'll walk up, and it's just like, okay, I don't really mind it that much. Nobody.
There's boundaries at home.
There is boundaries at home, but what can you do? Be mean? You can't.
No, you're locked into being nice at that point. But I hate when somebody puts you in that position.
Yeah. Well, I had one guy one time, and I have to say, I did get a little upset. I'm at a stoplight. The guy runs into the middle of the street, knocks on the window. Pull over. I want to take pictures. It's like, I'm going to a gig right now, so I'm going like, no.
Why didn't you bring your camera? You're right here.
I go, okay, but with the DeLorean too, when you do car shows too, it is a happy car, and it's an invitive car. And when you're at a car show with the doors open to show off the insides, everyone thinks it's okay just to sit in it. Mm-hmm. You don't sit in any other car. You didn't jump on that guy's Corvette next to you.
You wouldn't even
but
think
you
of
just
it.
hop right into a DeLorean.
For some reason, the clamshell's open,
It means, come on in. And I was fine with it. When I do car shows, I don't mind people sitting in it. If
you also build your cars differently. You build your cars that they can withstand that.
Yes. And, if I wear out a seat, I wear out a seat. Look at how many people were happy about it.
But you let people push the buttons and you let people do
yeah.
all the stuff, like it's Disneyland in there.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Adults be children in that car.
That's right. No, it's good. The worst ones are honestly young teenage boys. They will not only push buttons, they will pull and tug. So you got to watch those.
Testing strength of everything. Yeah. That's funny.
I did a high school graduation
Everything becomes
one
a
time.
bop it.
Did a high school graduation one time where these group of kids were just like pulling and shoving. I said, "Okay, we're done. Closing the doors.
Yeah.
You're
Who
not
spiked
listening."
the punch? Hey, butthead, get away from the car.
But 99% of it's just all fun.
All right. Well, the counter question to that, of course, is what's the worst part about owning a DeLorean time machine?
Honestly, you just can't drive without getting noticed, I guess. I mean, when you're
I was
out,
going to say tardiness. You can't get anywhere on time.
No. You just pull into a gas station. People want to stop and do something. And, when I've gone to gigs, it's just like, I'm trying to get to a gig. And
And then it's like maybe me in my own life, maybe I'm not the perfect human and I'm late. Maybe I'm just late, but I have this parade float around me. That's a magnet to every weirdo in the world who wants to tell you about his uncle in their barn in New Hampshire and how he had one of these when he was a kid. You're just trying to put some gas in the car and drink your 5-hour energy so you can get to the gig and talk to people.
But, at shows, it's great talking to people, straight out.
The fans are the best.
They love the car. Everybody's seen the movie. And I have never met, and I don't know if you have, anyone that did not like Back to the Future.
There isn't. There isn't anyone. There's people who haven't seen it.
Right.
But there's no one who saw it and was like, F that movie. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
It's too good.
I know. Yeah, I got asked that the other day. Is there anybody you ever met that didn't like the movie? I went, no.
I wonder if Bob Gale has ever been asked and answered that question. I mean, only because his focus group is going to be everybody.
I'm sure he
us.
has. I'm sure he has. I just watched him do an interview at the Peterson Museum recently.
Did he do that too?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
This is an exciting event. It's not an exclusive. Maybe it is an exclusive. But here's breaking news, everybody! Breaking news! Dun, 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 dun.
The Back to the Future DeLorean will be registered as an historic vehicle in the Library of Congress.
Isn't that something? In the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
The A car will be moved from the Peterson and go to Washington for a while. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really neat.
Isn't that amazing?
So, but going back to him too, watching him do an interview, you can tell he's done a million interviews. He was flawless. He was just so good. I'm just watching him do his whole interview. It was just like, so I'm sure he's probably been asked every question there is, but
I mean, he's been involved with so many projects over the years, and he's just like he's got to be media trained at this point, right? Just from life. But meanwhile, somehow he still is able to project an enthusiasm, and whenever I watch Bob Gale speak, I go, "Oh, that's where Doc Brown came from." I'm like, "Oh, that's it." Not just from his brain, like Doc Brown is his brain. You get to watch Bob Gale's wheels turn, and he's just such a fascinating man to me.
He is. He's great because he comes out to our DeLorean events too, where we have our big DeLorean shows back east. He comes out, and
such a supporter.
The fans love him, and he's right in there with everybody. And he'll go down, sit down, and have a beer with him, and he's such a nice, personal person.
Yeah,
That's awesome. It's been so long since that movie came out.
I know, and now he's doing the play.
Oh yeah, we heard about that in
over
England. Well, I heard about that because
right now.
somehow the guy who bought our car was involved with building the cars for the show or something like that. Something like that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and that's apparently doing really well, and I've heard it's just phenomenal. The car actually goes and flies over the audience and things. It's just phenomenal.
I've seen a couple clips that they have on YouTube. I haven't seen that. That sounds spectacular. But I have seen some images and videos of the set and stuff, and it looks pretty. Like the production value is excellent. I don't know why we're just talking about Bob Gale. Gosh, I guess the last time we saw Bob Gale was probably at our house in Venice.
Yeah.
When he came to get the time circuits.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We had the screen use time circuits from somebody else, and that's amazing. Anything else new in the time machine world? Did they find any new parts? I think almost everything was found by the time we were done with it. Like there was a couple things, the orange tube was already found. I think was the brass box inside ever found? I can't remember. The gold box.
No, I know they have names for everything now because Bob Gale with Joe Walsher just wrote that book. They wrote
They did finally do a book?
The Haynes repair manual for the Back to the Future DeLorean.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And it's really good. They've come up with names for everything.
They did that with Ghostbusters in the old days, and probably Aliens and stuff too. Is it the same kind of thing? Where like now we have an encyclopedia to refer to these things.
Well, it's not really an encyclopedia. It's more of a fiction. They come up with the names and stuff. They're not telling you in this book like this is a cable box part number and so and so.
No, but like in Ghostbusters, even like the wormhole emitter or whatever. I mean, do they call it a wormhole emitter?
No, they're calling it something else now.
Oh, okay.
I still like wormhole emitter, but
I don't know where any of those things came from. I don't know where any of those names came from. That was just what the community was
start
them back
putting
then.
together. What different names and. Everybody's still trying to find out, I think, where the wormhole emitter came from.
Still to this day. We were there the day we got it from Universal that day.
Right. We were searching the back truck and found a bunch of parts back there.
Universal, when we were first starting all of this, we were all just, I don't even know what we were doing at that point. We might have all just been hanging out, but we were all at Universal, and the motor pool let us into their archives. We got to go into, hunt through their shit.
The old boxes of...
We literally pulled all the Back to the Future parts and put them in one place. It was really cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah, because they just took parts on and off for so long, and then when the Part 3 car went to Barris used it for a while, and he
did?
He stripped a bunch of stuff off, and then they put big old
across
lights,
the street, around the
floodlights
block from here?
Yeah, they used it for some kind of promotion back in the day.
Well, my memory is me talking to Bob. I mean, like, I know this happened because I was involved. They cease and desisted George Barris for claiming involvement in the Back to
they
the
did
Future
that
car.
right after Paul and I, which is the second Back to the Future car I made.
Built, yeah.
He did a show with Barris and parked his car up on the lawn, and they were naming that tiny little the street next to Barris' shop. I think George Barris Boulevard now it's called.
The alley, but yes.
It's just it's a little
the
street,
driveway into his back shop.
Yeah,
but yes.
But he had a whole bunch of people out there.
Like
he had
star
a lot
on the
of movie
Walk of
stars.
Fame.
And for what I was told, he did an interview saying that he built the Back to the Future car, which he didn't. And I think somebody at Universal just kind of irked him the wrong way because
it was in print. I remember all of that.
And they sent him a cease and desist and told him to pull off the Back to the Future car. He had a flying Back to the Future car on his website and stuff. They said, no, you didn't do it. So
yeah, and he had a not great replica in his shop that he had sort
for
of
a
put
while,
together.
yeah. And I don't know where that went. Or he had a couple replicas he did for some of his museums because he had a couple of museums.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that he did for that.
I mean, R.I.P. George Barris. I mean, he did some cool stuff.
Oh, he
too,
did some really cool
over the
stuff.
years.
I did a job for him at Jules Verne Awards. He rented out my car for that, and I got to.
Oh, your time machine.
Yeah, my time machine
cool.
for the.
Did he try and sign it? Tried to sign everything else.
No.
Remember he tried to sign mine at that. We did that. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
we did
Cruising for a Cure.
Cruising for
show.
a Cure. Yeah. And I was like, what are you doing?
He was promoting another show, that Cruising for a Cure too, and I'm just, it's a cruise lane, so you're driving the cruise lane, and he knows me. And he said, "Hey, stop!" And he goes over and he sits down on my fender, and he's doing an interview next to my car. I guess I'll just sit here.
Yeah, you'll just wait here until his interview's done.
Which was
like
fine.
you're perfect set dressing.
I got along with him fine, and like I said, he made a nice tour of his shop when we did the Jules Verne Awards when they were getting my passes and everything, and got to walk around the shop and everything, and just look at all the history he had on the walls and everything that he's been involved with.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Oh, I don't have that anymore. I can't. It doesn't matter. I can't do it. It doesn't matter. I was going to try to put the Instagram people up there and see if we could share whatever and take some questions from the Instagram people, but I can't see it and I can't throw it up there. So if you have any questions, go ahead. And if not, that's fine too. How is your family? I mean, I know that everyone's away, but like, Kara's good. All's well.
Yeah,
she's
great.
You said she's happy working from home.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but everybody's healthy and everything. Our life is so different. I always feel like somebody else's might be different. I should
Never
just check in.
No, everybody's healthy. Everybody's good, and just moving right along.
All right. I probably have gotten to the things that I want to get to officially on the show. Is there anything you want to talk about? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything we want to talk about or promote professionally? Is there anything that the company wants us to say? Is there anything? Oh, you're wearing your restoration shirt. That's awesome.
Well, a little restoration.
I didn't get one of those. What's it say on the side?
This is Star Cars. Nate Truman.
Nate
Star
Truman.
Yeah.
Does he still have the A-Team van?
Yeah, I believe he still does.
Oh, we got to get that up to Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
We do a thing on Fridays up at Newcomb's Ranch up in Angeles Crest up in the forest, and that was a filming location for the A-Team.
Oh, cool.
At one point, so we're dying to get somebody with an A-Team van to bring it up there.
Oh, yeah, give him a call.
That'd
Sure we'll do it.
I don't want to book him. I don't want to book Nate. But
He's-
if he wants to hang out, that's cool.
He's such a nice guy. He would, I remember him when he first started thinking about star cars, and it was at the Cruising for a Cure car show. Me and him were.
That's where it started?
That's where I met him first, and we're walking around talking about, wouldn't it be cool to do it? To have a club just with star cars, and thinking, wow, we could rent them out and make tons of money and all that kind of fun stuff. And,
Yeah.
And he took the reins and kind of went with it. And
I didn't know
he has
that.
a lot of star car people now involved, and
It's probably huge now. It didn't even occur.
It's
I
huge.
didn't know
I
it was even
didn't
still
know.
around, honestly.
oh yeah, no, it's still around and strong, and I think he has a couple of divisions of it now.
Wow.
So
It was basically like he had a couple things at the time. He had a
right,
Batmobile,
the
and a handful
Batmobile
of
is
things.
what I saw him with.
And he basically unionized the whole thing. It was like, let's just have a group, a website, and then if somebody wants something, they can call, and then I can tell you, and you can go do the gig and whatever. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it was neat to have all like, oh, you need a Christine car? Oh, it's over there. You need a Starsky and Hutch car? Oh, it's over there. You need the Ghostbusters car? Oh, Sean was in that too. You get it from there.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It sounds pretty cool.
He got a lot of
To
people
have
gigs.
everything in one place.
It was it was almost like it wasn't never a company, but it was like a
No.
picture car company for the movie cars.
Right.
Which
And
the
he
real
got
ones don't
quite a
do.
name for himself to for everybody going to a site and everybody getting gigs for everybody. And
That's awesome.
know.
I'm trying to think. In the old days, he used to work on Entertainment Tonight. When
did.
I knew him, we worked on the Paramount lot together.
yeah, he brought me in there one time. We went up there and sit in his little booth because he did all the graphics on on it and watched the
ET
show
and
of
Inside
Entertainment
Edition,
Tonight.
whatever the one was after it, or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Took me down and met the people that did it.
Mary Hart.
Yeah, Mary Hart.
Yep.
She was really sweet. That was a fun day, and on the lot they were filming Enterprise at the time too.
Yeah.
I'm a big Star Trek fan.
I would have
so-
been there too. Were we friends yet at that
I
point?
don't know. I don't know if we were or not.
Okay. We were doing Everybody Hates Chris too at the same time on the other side of the lot.
Okay. I don't think I knew you then. Well, I don't know when you got your first car because
good
you bought your first car and
Oh,
then I
good
said
point.
get rid of it.
Good point. Oh my lord, that was terrible. Yeah, I bought a car off I guess I bought it off of eBay. Right? I think it was eBay,
Think
but
so.
it was like like you can find a $10,000 DeLorean. It was one of those, and I did. Parked it in, and like the line item list would have been like $30,000 to replace everything it needed. You know what I mean? It made no sense. And he was like, "If I were you, I'd probably get another car." He's like, "You'll get your money out of this one."
Sell it, find a better, and he did. And
Well, I took your advice and then went and found a super clean car that we still went and put $15,000 into to
Right.
make it like perfect, so that I could then start drilling holes in it and breaking glass and ripping it apart. That car ran great though. It was one of the best running DeLoreans ever. It never left me stranded anywhere ever.
well,
Thanks to you
you
guys.
did what it needed. That's what a lot of guys don't do. But I hate to see a guy who'll spend every last dime on a car, and
then not drive it.
It's a 10,000-mile car. It's going to be perfect, right? No, I mean it's a 40-year-old car. Replace the hoses, do tune-ups, do the things. Once you go through and do it, the car will be a good car for you.
Oh, that's your point. The car was good because we did spend
because
all
we
that
did
money.
all it, yeah.
Well, that's a really good
You
point.
spent the money to
We
update
made it reliable.
the updates that needed to be done, and you had a good car. I mean, honestly, the DeLorean engine, everybody kind of bags it for, it doesn't have enough power or anything, but
was fine.
it is a good little engine, probably the best oiling engine I've ever seen.
Really?
I got guys 500,000-600,000 miles on their engines.
That's amazing.
In
In a DeLorean?
a DeLorean.
Not even in a Volvo or a Peugeot or a Renault?
No. No, I've had guys, drive the hell out of them, and I've torn them apart with hundreds of thousands of miles on them, and you can still see the crosshatch original bore, in the cylinders, which is unheard of. When I worked at Chevrolet, it was like they made a special tool to get a reaming tool so you can get the piston out because it wore so much.
Yeah.
And DeLoreans aren't. I mean, they're a good little engine. If you
something.
take care of them, don't overheat them, and that's the biggest thing. There are a lot of cooling systems hoses on a DeLorean, so you need to keep them up.
Yeah.
Keep the car up and keep it serviced.
Now that you're saying these things, I'm remembering where that $15,000 went. We did all of the systems.
Mm-hmm.
You had me redo the cooling system. You had me redo the fuel system. You had me redo all of we did all the electro, all the the
Yeah,
relays
relay
and all of that
upgrade,
stuff.
right.
And basically, we beefed up every possible system.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. Well,
Yeah,
no wonder.
Went through everything.
But it was such a reliable Back to the Future car. Everybody else I knew was always having issues with their DeLoreans. It was always fucking it didn't start, or was it broken this or whatever. And ours, we drove it everywhere, drove it to every event, never trailered it, and it just was fantastic. And it loved us too. It really did. Like Herbie the Love Bug.
You just got, if
Some
you
are
keep-
happier
keep
than
up.
others.
Yeah, I hate to see it, and a lot of people will buy a piece of junk DeLorean. Well, I'm going to make it a Back to the Future car, so I'm going to buy the biggest piece of junk I could find.
That makes sense in theory.
It used to kind of in theory, and I just say no. To find a nice car, update, do whatever it updates,
Yeah.
and then do the Back to the Future car. You're never going to go back. I've never seen anybody go back yet.
No.
Maybe
We'll talk about
in
it.
100 years from now when people nobody's going to forget Back to the Future, but if somebody wants to go back to stock, classic car enthusiasts in 100 years from now, it can go back, but nobody would ever take all the stuff off nowadays.
Do we know what the DeLorean went for? So Expedition.
Oh, I
Expedition
don't.
Back to the Future, right?
It was at $335,000 the last I looked.
So what we're talking about, this Expedition Back to the Future, is also an auction for this DeLorean Time Machine for the Team Fox Foundation.
Michael J. Fox Foundation. We gave the car to him, and hopefully, we were hoping for a lot of money to help the foundation and help all of what they're doing.
Well, here's the thing. That closed like an hour before we went on the show today here.
Mm-hmm.
So where would I find it? I should have done this work ahead of time.
Yeah, I glanced on it. It closed, and I glanced on it. It didn't say the closing price. And then
really?
It just says auction closed, done. And so I had to book up
maybe
here,
they'll publicize it later.
I'm down here in Orange County, so it's a little bit of drive up here.
Anybody else on Instagram? See if you can find it. Find out what the auction went for. I'm curious, but I don't want to spend a ton of time looking for it, especially if it may not be there. Well, anyway, it's very cool that it did sell today. And last time I saw it, I thought it was $350. So I mean, that's a tremendous amount of money. Tremendous amount of money for the Team Fox Foundation. So great job.
That should help them a lot.
Salute you for your efforts.
I loved being part of it. Just to be any part of that was just great.
I'm so glad. But you deserve to be a part of it, I guess, is what I was trying to say earlier.
Well, thank you.
You've worked very hard in this arena. You deserve to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And our love to everybody over there at DeLorean Motors. DeLorean Motor Company.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
DeLorean Motors. You got so much stuff coming up. I know you can't say some of it, but I know that there's great things happening for
There's
the company.
great things happening, and you'll see the DeLorean and on TV and stuff like that more and more. It just never dies.
We thought at 2015, I said to her, that's it. Back to the Future's done. Like, they can't go further than the movie.
what I
What's
thought.
going to happen?
Yeah.
It's gotten bigger. It's gotten bigger.
And that's honestly kind of one of the reasons why I sold mine. Their competition, I used to rent it out for a lot of the Hollywood stuff around here too, and there was so much competition. I'm building in all my own competition, which is going backwards, but
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll just sell mine. I'm kind of done for a while. After the A-car restoration too, kind of beat everybody up a little bit. We worked so hard to do that, and it was just like take a little break. But now I'm getting itching, so I'll keep looking to find one.
That's awesome. I hope you do get one, just because you should have one. You're the guy.
It's
going
gonna keep going.
Yeah. He's like, no, I will. I'm looking right now.
I will.
How do people keep up with you? You're not really on social media that much. You have an Instagram account, but you're barely on.
I'm barely on. No, I don't do it. Facebook is the thing I do the most.
Okay.
So most people want to
Danny
get a hold of
Botkin?
me. They can just get onto me that. I got a website, timemachinecar.com, that's still up, that I get rentals from. And usually I give them to my other Back to the Future guys in the area. So if they need a Back to the Future car for rental, they can go to timemachine.com.
Beautiful. That's one of the things that was really fun about our relationship is he didn't have a Back to the Future car at the time, but he was my agent. So if somebody ever did, he would book the deal and get a cut. It was a really nice situation.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So
in the
we get
old
a lot
days.
of people, they'll call DeLorean for it. And usually, I know they are all over the U.S.
Yeah.
And overseas, really. So.
Is there anybody who used to have them in the old days that I would know that doesn't anymore? You remember, like, Monty sold his and he got out.
Right.
We sold ours and I got out.
Right.
Is there anybody else who's done that?
I'm not sure if Gary Weaver still has one or not.
Okay. He
not
would
sure.
be one I wouldn't be surprised if he got out because he has many other interests.
Right. So I haven't heard much from him lately either. So.
Joe Walser was always the guy who should be doing what he's doing. He was the most dedicated to it than anybody else, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, to be that guy, he's got that brain for it. You know what I mean? Like the perfection and,
Yeah,
the authenticity and the accuracy and all that stuff. And he really, like, he's he just, I don't know, he just dedicated more to it than anybody I ever saw. So I feel
For a
like
guy,
that's
for a
all
guy who doesn't
marketing.
own one.
Oh, no?
No. As far as I know,
His
he
got
doesn't
sold
own
at the
it.
for
Yeah.
again for Team Fox Charity way back when
Right.
we did like the 25th anniversary. I
Yeah,
think.
I don't know if you were there the night before or something. I went over there, helped him do the soldering up his overhead and stuff like that before that happened. All the overhead wiring and for the switches and.
You mean the
as
night
far as-
before the auction?
Yeah.
Oh, I was there. We built
yeah,
that car.
Yeah, you were there too. Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's as far as I know, he's never bought one unless he has. Joey might have one sticking in his backyard somewhere. But
I don't know. I'm happy for all those people though, because I feel like same thing. So much time and so much commitment into a subject where
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's the exact same thing as this. I mean, do you know how we got? I don't want to go through the whole story here,
Mm-hmm.
but like. I was a childhood Letterman fan who dedicated his whole fucking thing to this, and then the desk and chairs kind of fell into our lap. This is the original Letterman. I don't know if you know that.
I saw. I keep up with you.
So I mean, like just weird shit. Like they were the right people to. I don't know. I feel like everything in life works out how it's supposed to. like Jeff Goldblum says, life finds a way.
Life will always find a way.
All right, nothing else. We've gone long here, but I just want to talk to you forever because I love you.
Oh, I've missed hanging out with you guys. Wish you were closer.
Well, in the old days, we used to drink. I mean, man, you and I used to. We've been friends for years, and man, we used to put back the beers and everything else. So many
That's
fond
a reward
memories.
for a good day.
Absolutely. Oh man,
Good day
so
of
many
building
fond
that, building
memories.
Sean's
The Ecto.
Ghostbuster, and
Yeah. So if you've ever seen the video where we're building the Ecto and then we go drive to go see Dan Aykroyd at the liquor store, Danny's the other guy.
Yeah.
We're all building it together.
I still have the signed Skull Vodka
From Dan Aykroyd
for
that
Dan
day.
Aykroyd that signed it for it and set in my office. Yeah.
That was fun. We got to do a couple of those things for them. Those were really fun. Parking the big old hearse out front of the vodka, because then all the kids showed up as Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
like all the
Ghostbuster
fans.
clubs and stuff like that came over, and yeah, that was a fun night. That was really good.
Man, that was fun. Yeah, so a lot of fun memories.
Yeah, I remember Build Sundays.
Build Sundays were great up at Sean's shop,
Yeah.
and then I just remember our evenings after working at your place where I feel like I know I'd stay over at your place, and then we'd go to Hooters sometimes, or we'd always go out to dinner at Red Lobster. I don't know, someplace. Always go someplace. Thank you so much for being here, buddy.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Come back anytime. Come back sometime when you have your car, or a Back to the Future car, and you bring it downstairs into the
Yeah,
basement,
we
and
could
we'll
do
do a
something
little
with it.
shoot, and we'll go down there and show it to everybody. That'd be fun.
Take a nice
or I
little
can
ride.
come down to the shop, either way, or both.
I remember Matt Fierro one time. He wanted to do. He was going to get this new Lamborghini.
Who?
Matt Fierro.
Oh, Matt Farah,
Yeah,
our
Farah,
Smoking
Farah,
Tire.
Sorry, yeah, Farah.
Yeah.
Because he said
You know him too from the
yeah.
time he did the world's fastest DeLorean thing. That's right.
Yeah, he did the world's fastest DeLorean thing, and also we got him a car because he wanted a really nice stock DeLorean.
You guys got him the car he used to have?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we looked around for a year. He wanted a low mileage car, gray interior. He wanted a certain car, so it took about a year or so, and I think Cameron found it for him, and
No shit.
we brought it and we did a bunch of work to it, updating it and everything. He was so stoked about the car when I remember he first came in. He looked at the car, oh, it's so great. And he looks at the original blue license plate, and he got more excited about that. I think, than-
classic blue plate.
the classic blue plates there.
He walked in and he said something about, you worked with Matt Farah on his thing. I was like, how do you know Matt Farah? I'm like, my worlds are colliding. I didn't even know. And then I forgot about all that stuff.
Yeah. But he wanted to do a thing one time. He called me and said, would you kind of take your Back to the Future car? I want to go park in front of a Chinese theater in Hollywood with a brand new Lamborghini and a Back to the Future car. I want to film who gets more attention.
Oh,
I
that's
said,
funny.
oh, don't worry, I will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll buy a
Be
lot.
crazy.
Especially on
Yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard.
I think it would have been great. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for whatever reasons, but I just thought it would have been a great thing to do.
That's funny. I love you, buddy. I
So
love
we
you.
do, man. Love both
Really
of you
great to
guys.
see you.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks to Guards Rad for putting that video together in the RS America. Thanks to Auto Kennel for letting us drive it. Thanks to Gabriella who bought it. Thanks to Instagram for watching over there. Thanks to everybody on YouTube. Tomorrow we're at Good Vibes Breakfast Club up at Newcomb's Ranch, 9 to 11. Come on up. All welcome. Not a club. Anything else, Mrs. Ryan?
I think that's it.
Yeah, we love you. We love everybody. Please love one another, and we'll see you out there. Until next week. Oh, next week. What do we have next week? I don't remember, but there's stuff going on next week. If the world's still spinning, we will be here next week. See everybody next week.